Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Major update on Goldberg's WWE contract status. There is encouraging news for fans hoping to see Goldberg wrestle one more time. In a recent interview with the New York Post, Goldberg provided clarification on his WWE contract status, revealing that although he has completed his obligation for the number of matches he signed on for, he is still signed to WWE. When asked about his contract status, Goldberg emphasized that he still hasn't gotten cut on because you never know when the phone's going to ring. He further noted that he's in pretty good damn shape right now compared to his final outing in a WWE ring. Quote, "I'm still waiting for that one call to happen one of these days," Goldberg said, "but I suppose you never retire in the wrestling world until you're dead, so who knows." Goldberg reiterated earlier comments that he will eventually require surgery to fix his injured shoulder, which, according to him, has been absolutely destroyed over the past 4 or 5 years. The 55-year-old wrestling legend revealed that he was somehow able to hide it from everybody over the course of his recent WWE stint. Quote, "I have worked my ass off day after day after day to get to the point where I almost feel normal again," Goldberg said. "I just needed that kind of break. I needed the mental focus of understanding that surgery wasn't an option at the time, and I needed to put my ass to the grindstone." He added, "Hey, I may never get the call, but you never know, but you bet your ass I'll be ready." Following his loss to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber in February, there was uncertainty over the future of Goldberg in WWE, with some outlets reporting that the WWE Hall of Famer could be done with the company as he had become a free agent. Prior to that match in Saudi Arabia, Goldberg teased an in-ring retirement when he said, quote, "I've got a job to do and it could be the last time in a WWE ring," through a video released on social media. Backstage news on Ric Flair's health before his final match. Ric Flair is reportedly hurt right now and dealing with a foot injury, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer radio show. The Nature Boy is just weeks away from competing in his final ever wrestling match at StarCast 5 on July 31st, and his mystery opponent is set to be revealed later on today. While he is currently hurt, Flair is expected to still be able to compete in the match and put on the encounter that he will be headlining in the show. From the moment it was announced that the 73-year-old would be returning to compete for the first time since 2011, where he competed against Sting for TNA, there has been a lot of concern. There was primarily over Flair's general health, with the former WWE superstar having a pacemaker fitted, but during the press conference for the show, he claimed he is able to work around his issues, admitting that his inner ear and blood thinner medication concerns alongside his pacemaker. Quote, "There are two things that could go wrong," Flair said. "My heart's pacemaker can come unplugged, but I can plug it back in." When it comes to the issue surrounding his blood thinners, he simply stated he just won't take one that day. Flair has shared plenty of footage of himself training and getting into shape, as he has been actively training inside the ring with AEW's Jay Lethal. It's unclear whether it was during these training sessions that the Nature Boy picked up his injury, but the videos have shown him taking a bump from the top turnbuckle. Flair's final match is not the only thing on the card on that night though, as the Briscoes will be in action against the Von Erichs, while Josh Alexander is set to compete against Jacob Fatu amongst many other bouts. The two-time WWE Hall of Famer is going to be busy throughout that weekend, as there will be a panel featuring the Four Horsemen and the roast of Ric Flair that will celebrate the career of the Hall of Famer while allowing wrestlers and celebrities to poke fun at his career. Backstage news on Kevin Owens' return to WWE RAW. Kevin Owens has been off WWE TV for nearly a month, but all that is about to change soon. According to Fightful Select, a KO show segment is planned for the July 18 episode of WWE RAW as of Sunday night. Although not advertised by WWE, Owens has been listed internally on the rundown for the show. It's likely he wasn't pre-advertised because there was uncertainty over his return date. This week's Raw will be taped from the Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Fightful's report added that an Elias segment was planned for last week's Raw, but nixed due to Owens' unavailability. It's possible that the Drifter would interrupt the KO show segment this week to further the Owens, Ezekiel, Elias, Elrod storyline. Owens was previously pulled from the June 26 episode of the Red Brand due to undisclosed reasons. On that night, he was advertised to wrestle either Elias, Ezekiel, or Elrod in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Instead, WWE held a last chance battle royal to determine the final spot in the ladder match, which would be won by Riddle. Subsequently, Dave Meltzer reported that Owens missed the show due to a minor issue and would be expected back soon. Earlier this month, Owens attended the NHL draft in his hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, interrupting NHL Network's broadcast while sporting a Dusty Rhodes shirt. During the telecast, Owens was asked for an update on his WWE return, to which he responded with soon, while confirming he'll be back in time for the July 30 SummerSlam Premium Live event. Speaking of SummerSlam, Owens could potentially wrestle Ezekiel, Elias, or Elrod at the stadium event in Nashville, Tennessee. WWE has been teasing the debut of Elrod for nearly a month now. Earlier this year at WrestleMania 38, Kevin Owens had the distinct honor of wrestling WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin in his comeback match. Two top WWE NXT stars called up to SmackDown. It appears WWE NXT stars Solo Sikoa and Von Wagner could be bound for the main roster soon. After the live telecast of Friday's SmackDown at the Amway Arena in Orlando, WWE taped a backstage fight featuring Solo Sikoa and Wagner, which will air on Tuesday's NXT 2.0 episode on the USA Network. The fact the altercation took place after SmackDown could be a sign of WWE considering the two young superstars for main roster debuts. Typically, wrestlers on the verge of a call-up work several dark matches on either two of the main roster shows, giving WWE higher-ups and producers a closer look at their skill sets. It's also possible that WWE shot the angle Friday since SmackDown was taking place at the Amway Center, which is located just minutes from the Performance Center. That said, Sikoa is reportedly set for a main roster call-up soon. According to Louis Dangoor of Give Me Sport, Sikoa will be on the main roster after SummerSlam on July 30, but WWE has yet to decide if he will be paired with the Usos, his real-life brothers. In a recent interview with BT Sport, Sikoa stressed that he plans on blazing his own trail rather than being paired with the Bloodline. Quote, "I need to do me, man," Sikoa said. "The world needs to see me. They've already seen them. They've already seen what they can do. It all worked out just fine." Sikoa and Wagner have been embroiled in a bitter rivalry for several weeks. On Tuesday's NXT 2.0 episode, their match ended in a double countout, which was followed by a backstage brawl outside the Performance Center. The segment ended with Sikoa tossing Mr. Stone, Wagner's manager, into a large trash can. Both Wagner and Sikoa are second-generation wrestlers. While Wagner is the son of former WWE WCW star Wayne Bloom, Sikoa is the youngest son of WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.